this is the Iron Dome in Israel intercepting the sieges 2 weeks ago, and it's really amazing. So their Iron Dome was actually overwhelmed, which is one of the reasons there was so much death. And as of the weekend, there was actually several thousand dead in just in Gaza, and I believe there was hundreds in Israel at that point.
So it's an Iron Dome shooting the rockets out of the sky.
Yeah, so the Iron Dome is counter-rocketing these rockets.
Counter-rocketing. Trademark.
So there's one of these. There's another piece through there. And these. So on both sides of this conflict, in terms of the rockets, there are lots of civilians dying.
And I don't want you to think that some people might listen to this and think that I'm anti-Jewish. I'm not at all. We also have Messianic Jewish friends that were missionaries. I'm just as much pro-ministering to them as anyone else. So it's not like it's a side. It's just I saw the evils that were done to the Arab people simply because they were Arab in Israel, who are just who've been there for families who have been there for thousands of years, and they're just trying to live. And it's really sad. But we have a lot of awesome Jewish friends that are now Messianic Jews. I mean, they're a Christian. They believe in Jesus. And then we talk to many people who were just Jewish. Like, I don't have any issue with that either. I don't want you to think that.
Yeah, so, I mean, ultimately it comes down to there are clear, biblical... There are clear biblical statements about how we approach things like racism. And it's very, very clear, like the Imago Dei is everyone's made in the image of God. We're a human being on earth. And so there is an inset until justice needs to be applied, because that's been infringed upon, basically. So there's also justice and law within all of that. Everyone is meant to be cherished and valued as a human being at the very least, made in the image of God. So you can never justify racism or any of that inside of that worldview as a Christian, and that is a worldview that has been passed down, and you see almost every generation of the church infringing upon that at some point. Catholics infringed upon it during the Holy Wars, the Crusades. I'm not a history person. I'm probably misusing those terms. During the Crusades, we talked about the Crusades. I don't know what you said though.
Okay, before we get to it, Southern Baptists were pro-slavery as well, and they repented from that eventually.
So I went to one of my wife's family lived in a house they were renting from, I don't know, they were Eastern Orthodox kind of Christian family.
Is that Anglican?
No, it's
it's
the other
Arab Catholic.
It's the other
Arab Catholicism.
Arab Catholic.
It's the other Catholic.
Please take no offense if you're whatever. I don't even remember.
He's just trying to define this for Make 7 audience.
There's something along the lines of probably more.
They believe they are the true original church. Catholics
Christianity.
They are the true original church.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Christians. They were Christians. Okay. They were not Muslims. They're not Jews.
Oh,
they
you
were
were saying
Christians.
they believe in Jesus.
They were Christians.
All right.
We went to their house for a party, and there was this lady there from a ministry that ministers to persecuted Christians in the Middle East. At the time, this was at the height of ISIS, was rampaging through the Middle East. And so they had these stickers. I took a sticker, put it on my work laptop, because I worked at a big company where everybody had this, 50 people had the same laptop, so you wanted to have some way to distinguish your laptop from all the other 50 laptops in the room. And so one day I'm in the break room, and this lady's like, "Oh, what's Take Heart?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's an organization that supports persecuted Christians in the Middle East." She's like, "Christians killed a lot of people during the Crusades." So I feel like ministering to Christians now is not legitimate because Christians killed a lot of people during the Crusades.
Yeah.
It's kind of
that's the same. It's every single the Crusades in the Catholic Church at that time were more I'm really out of my depth here. I'm going to say this not knowing how true it is, but it's an intuitive feeling. It was more of a government than it was a church. They just took over, like a government would take over.
And I'm not
If
saying the
there's somebody
Crusades
who knows
were
a lot
right.
about this that wants to correct me, definitely do it.
There were good
because there's probably going to be
things.
some valuable comments to help people understand this better.
There were value that the Crusaders brought, but at the end of the day, we're all going to look back. You can all look back 100 years and be like, there are evil things people did because they were cultural.
Yeah, like founding fathers founded America. They, whether you say they were deists or not, like they founded America, but some of them also had slaves. So like,
They made sure that the word property was not. It was the pursuit of happiness instead of property. That's the thing I've heard.
it's like it really makes you, and I've thought about this a lot. It makes you wonder, like, in the current moment, what are the things 100 years from now? People are going to be like, I can't believe they stood idly by.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of those things is abortion. But
I was about to say that too.
like ultimately, there's probably other things.
Yeah.
And it's like we would not say that we are responsible or at all involved with a lot of the things that our government is doing at this current time.
Well, and we could look back and say, why didn't everyone stand up and just bear arms and end slavery and draw the same connection to now? And in 100 years, people are going to likely say, why didn't they stand up and bear arms about abortion?